Okay. Hopefully this works. All right, everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the Coffee Q&A. Every few days, there's always some kind of technical issue happening. Hopefully this is working and you can... No, there is... So can you hear me now, Russ? Does that work better? Yes? Okay, good. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Rusty. I have no idea what happened, Rusty. It just... you know what? I find that this computer that I'm using, and I don't know if it's a computer thing, but it's an old 2015 MacBook Pro that I don't know. I don't know what it is. But every once in a while, there's some kind of freak out issue with live streaming. Sometimes it seems like it's the YouTube software. Sometimes it might be the machine. Why it wasn't connecting the audio to the whole system? I don't know. I wish I had better answers. Okay, so like we're saying, welcome back to the Coffee Q&A. We're here every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. And so I'm your host, Jay. Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, no, 2015. It is a little bit older MacBook Pro. But I figured live streaming, it should be all right to hold to it. And I can run a live stream off my 2013 MacBook Air. And actually, I think that 2013 MacBook Air works better than this 2015 MacBook Pro. And I bought it over a year ago or so, from an auction, or maybe it's 2 years, whatever. I bought it for an auction and kind of used for this purpose because, it's kind of a pain to always switch out computers all the time. Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about the Hum. And the Hum is this device that comes from a company called Squeaky in Bangkok, Thailand. Thank you very much, Keone, for sending this to me. I really appreciate it. I first saw the Hum at the SCA Expo in Chicago, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. But a year ago, I was in Bangkok touring around the coffee shops of Thailand, went to a place called Paga Micro Roastery. And if you go to Paga, you walk in, it's really slick and very modern and concrete looking. Actually, it reminds me of the old Comme des Garçons boutique that was in Soho, New York City in the 1980s. Lots of hard concrete and clean lines. And if you happen to watch the movie, if you're old enough to watch the movie called 9.5 Weeks, Mickey Rourke's character takes Kim Basinger to go buy some clothes in this really austere kind of brutalist concrete structure. Well, that was the Comme des Garçons boutique, which I used to go to quite a lot back then because I was really a fashionista. As you can today buy my really cheap red denim t-shirt. Mom says that 2015 is one of the best. Oh, I don't know why everything about it seems so sluggish on the way that it operates, the whole software. And I don't know when we were at the roastery, I had everything hardlined, right? I would have a hardline Ethernet running it to everything, which I think made it a little bit more stable, but not always. Uh-oh. My mom is messaging me. Okay, great. All right, so this is the Hum. Oh, so back to Paga. So at Paga, you walk in, and they have all their coffees in their bags, and they're all, they're all nicely displayed, and they have these perfume sprayers. Those really fancy perfume, the heavy crystal with the pink lattice around it, and you would sit there and smell. It was actually a great idea. I was like, oh, that's really a great idea. I need to go and find those when I get home. Well, fast forward to April when we're at the SCA, and they had the Hum. And the Hum is kind of I can only imagine that they must have gotten this idea because they're all from Bangkok, right? They're all in the same area. So they must have gotten some kind of inspiration or sharing. And, they made this that's designed to be more in line with the modern coffee shop scene. That's why it's got this kind of test tube glass tube. It has a little metal base or a little magnetic base, right? So you can take it here and there's a sticky thing here. So if you want to stick it somewhere, you can just kind of, and it should, if it's stuck there like that, it'll hold and it won't move. And, you can set it down so that, and I guess you want to have that because here, while it's fairly well balanced, I can see that, if you just kind of tap it, it'll fall over. And, you know, if you want to keep it safe, you want to keep it safe. Peter's back. Excellent. It's a perfume sniffer. Yeah. So this is a kind of using that same principle. So I thought we'd go through it and see, will this enhance your coffee experience? So let's try it. So it comes apart, and actually when it arrives to you, it's already apart. So as you can see, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put one together so that you can see it. So here are the components that come with it. There's the tube from Squeaky, right? It comes with the bulbous thing. My parents are doctors, so I'm used to, like, you know, this being an apparatus for blood pressure. Although if you're kind of adventurous kind of sort, this might have been used for other things. And then there's the trumpet, which reminds me of a phonograph record player, right? You know, those old phonographs, you'd sit there and be like, phonograph, up. Or I wonder if you could hear anything. Hello? Anyway, it's a little trumpet here, and there's a little valve here. There's a one-way valve. So when you assemble it, you're actually putting in a one-way. You put a couple one-way valves in, and I'll show you that in a moment. Then there's also a funnel to help you put the coffee into it. And they give you a little packet of filters and one-way valves. So how does this work? We're going to take it. We're going to take this off. Open this up. All right. There's 2 holes. You can see the 2 holes in there. Now, one of these goes in each, and as you can see with this one, they're in opposing manner. So we're going to shove this in there, just shove it in the hole, and I think you're supposed to let it protrude a little bit from the bottom. And then we're going to shove the other one in the other hole, like you're putting 2 fingers in 2 holes. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I know. All right, so there it is. You got your shocker of of coffee going on here. Now, here's the thing. So there's one-way valves to prevent. The idea is that you have these one-way valves to prevent, you know, the air from escaping, or either way, right? You don't want the air going out this way. You don't want the air going out that way. And so what they have are these one-way valves. You can kind of see this is already pre-installed in the trumpet. You can see it there. So it allows air to go out, but not to come back, right? And so we're going to take that, and there's a couple in here. So they give you some extras, which is really nice of them. So we got the one-way valve here. And as you can see, that's the valve, right? So this wedge part, right? There's a wedge part, and it's actually flat on this side. I don't know if you can see that too well, but it's, yeah, there you go. So that, and then there's a hole, the hole here. Come on, there you see the hole. So that goes in. So I guess we do have to push this stem in a little bit more. And that will go here. Let me zoom in a little bit more so I don't have to. So that's going to go here. Right? Is that right? Yeah. Ooh. You just kind of got to roll it on. Yeah, there we go. All right, excellent. Now, in order so that you, as you're pumping it, right, and that's not changing the performance, so that you're not like, so that you're not sniffing like coffee like you would cocaine, they provide these little filters. And these are like cotton paper, like, you know, they're kind of like little tiny filters that you'd use in a, what do you call it? In a cigarette. So you just got to roll it. It's bigger diameter. The OD is bigger than the ID of the tube. So you kind of have to roll it down. Is that right? That's not easy. Let me twist it more. Although I don't know if by twisting it more, will that prevent its flow rate? All right, so you shove it in there. Just shove it in. Force it. All right, so that's pretty much the entire assembly, right? And then that goes in here. Let's see if it actually affects the, now you, in the directions that I saw, you're supposed to cut off the excess tip. But here's the thing. I think by twisting it like that, I think that that has made it so that it doesn't work, right? Take that out. I don't know if I like that. See, this one, I feel it. This one, I don't. Maybe this cap is on too much. Do we even need these? Like, maybe we don't need that. No, that's totally not working. Huh. Well, that's weird. For whatever reason, let's compare the two and see what the issue might be. I mean, they look pretty much the same, and they're installed the same way. I don't know why this one seems to be, like if I press on it, like there's a good amount of force hitting my face. All right, let's try this again. Let me go the other way with this. I'll just use this instead. Try putting this back in here. I'll troubleshoot that other one another time. Okay, does that restrict the flow? Yeah, that does restrict the flow, right? So I'm going to eliminate that completely. I don't really care about the... And then if I put this valve on here, the one-way valve to protect it. So the one-way valves, the idea is that, you're preventing air from, contaminating your coffee and losing its... And that has put restriction on it, but there is still good flow. So we'll try it. All right, now, let's put all this other stuff to the side. My cousins have decided to start texting each other. I don't know if you have friends in groups or whatever, friends, family, whatever. They always like to text, and man, it's just suddenly it's like a barrage of text. You're like, oh my gosh, what are we doing here? Okay, so we got our funnel. The funnel here. Now, I figured let's get some nice coffee. So I pulled out this bag of old coffee from George Howell. This is the Palmichal from Colombia. This is actually a coffee from 2002 that I've kept frozen for a while. So I thought, let's give it a try. Now I haven't kept it frozen recently, but ooh, that George Howell, he does have some good stuff. Is this not open? Oh, this is an unopened bag. Wow. All right. Ooh, there's some beautiful aromas coming out of this bag. Okay, this bag was frozen. I got this bag in April of 2002. This roast date on this bag is April 1st. But this is from the 2002, when I was there for the SCA conference in 2002, or maybe it was 2003? 2002. Yeah, 2002, because I actually wanted to use this as a test example for a video I want to do about coffee aging. And so I remember in January of 2023, one of my friends was in town. I was like, hey man, do you have time to come up and do a video with me? He didn't have the time, so we weren't able to do it. But this has been in frozen storage until January of this year, where it's just, again, been sitting, like a lot of the coffees here at the house. They've just been kind of sitting But wow, there's some pretty aromas coming out of this thing. Rusty's asking, is it a 5-pound bag? That it is. Although okay, so I thought, I was wondering, I thought that this was a coffee that that I had opened already, and I guess I did. Oh yeah, if you look here, you can see this has already been cut. So I did seal this because I noticed in here I have something. Yeah, this is the tasting notes that I did. As you can see here, 4/14/22, the Paul Michel, and I scored it here 87.25. So the idea behind this was to here's some notes from it. So the idea was to come back to it a year later or so and cup it with someone that was a friend of mine. I was asking Scott Connery because he was in town, and Scott's a good friend of mine who's also a Q grader. I wanted someone that would come in that did not have experience with the coffee to see, and then to give their scoring to see how freezing affects the coffee. So, well, that's not going to happen. We're going to use it today. Yeah. So at one point it was a 5-pound bag. I don't know if it's still 5 pounds anymore, but let's get to brewing it. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to take a sample of it. Right, we're going to take a sample of this Paul Michel. We're going to give it a grind, and I think that if we're going to grind it, I think that we should grind it to the same degree of fineness that you would normally have for whatever brew method you're doing. So let's say we're going to do this as a pour over. I think we would want to use it as a pour over brew or as a pour grind. So we're going to leave the grind set in the way it is. Drop the coffee in. Good morning to you, Michael. Good to see you. As you notice, I didn't weigh that out to see exactly how much we put in, but we're just really taking this to use as a sample, right? So here's the grind sample. You can see that. We're going to put that in here. I'm going to put all of it. You don't have to put all of it. Now, here's something you can kind of see there's some chaff in there. I wonder if the chaff will, now that I breathed into it, maybe I put bad breath into there. Well, at least you don't have to experience it. Eduardo, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, so now let's get our brew ready. We're going to brew this coffee. So today we're going to, so I'm wondering how we can use this to enhance our experience with the coffee. So here's 25. Let's go 24. 24 grams of coffee. Perfect. Now, just on initial thought, I think the thing would be to take the coffee, put it in this device. So let's say, like, how could you use this? Like, this could just be sitting there in a retail environment. Then, any of the interested guests can come in and. Okay, so definitely, it's a good idea to have to get the chaff out. I just had some chaff blow onto my nose. Interesting. I don't know if I'm getting a lot out of it, but that could be something depending on the coffee. What I'm thinking that it could be something, at least in our operation, could be used to as a snifter for letting guests come in and select their coffees. But also, I'm wondering, can this be utilized to help enhance the tasting experience? Like, let's say you come in and you're going to have a coffee. If we provide a little sample of the coffee here as well, can that enhance the experience? And that's kind of what we're going to explore today. All right, so let us have a look here. We're going to grind our coffee again. "24 grams of coffee." All right. Let's put that here. And then, since this is from Squeaky, of course, we have to go back to our favorite Monet and ODZ dripper, right? Sit that in there, nice and safe. Put that here. We're gonna, and like yesterday, I decided we're just gonna stay with the Café Abaca for paper filters. They worked out pretty well for us yesterday, so let's just stay with that today. And then put this over here, put this there. And as always, we're going to take this paper filter. Michael says, what if it was coarse ground with the tiny screen? Probably wouldn't last as long. I mean, that's a great question, and one that I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you. Like, if we're grinding different grind size, does it change the way that it emits the fragrance? And does it change for how long it will emit? I don't know. I mean, this is probably part of that discovery. All right, so let's get our coffee here. All right, there's the coffee in there. Keone says, I've seen it used to feature the daily beans on offer, in-house brewing, and also for the coffee beans on sale. Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, so I'm wondering, like, at least because the setting that we're working on for the new shop is going to be one where you can have, we're going to be creating a coffee experience. And so I'm just curious to know, like, I wonder, can this be part of that experience? Actually, part of me also wants, can this be shortened? Can I get shorter tubes? Okay, so we've got our coffee. I'm going to put this down. I want to lay it down because I just worry about it getting falling all the time. Okay, so let's put that here. We're going to need oh gosh, that's right. I forgot to heat the water. So now we have time to babble. Peter says, Cafe has lots of overgrinds to fill this every hour. No doubt. Actually, I was thinking about this last night before I went to bed. I was thinking, I wonder how many live streams we've done. And so this live stream for the Coffee Q&A is 220. And we've done majority of these Coffee Q&A live streams within the last year, right? Because we started doing more of there was a time when I started doing this Coffee Q&A, and it was kind of like whenever we wanted to do it. But then I thought about a year ago, let's do a more regular schedule. We can do it daily. And so we started doing it daily. And I was thinking, how many shows we've done? 220. And let's say they last an average of 20 minutes. And I was like, 220, that's 4,000 hours. And then if we add on the Coffee Q&A, we're at 200 episodes. And that is at least 2 hours. And most of the shows on both of them, I'm pretty much talking solo the whole time. And I was thinking, man, so I calculated it out. I was like asking Siri, hey, Siri, how long is this 500 hours? It was like 500 hours, I think it was. Or something, was that right? Yeah, and it turns out that it was a minimum 21 days, 24-hour days of talking. So if you were to watch the videos, it would be me talking for 21 days nonstop. I was like, that's a lot of talking. That's a bit much. Eduardo says, I've seen it used with whole beans, but I always wondered about cross-contamination and how much time would the fragrance last. In the case of Paga, and okay, I didn't ask the guys at Paga. I should have asked them about this. I don't think they replace the coffee in the perfume sprayers every day. I'm presuming. I didn't ask. I should probably email them and be like, hey, do you guys change? How often do you change it? But I think it should last a while, especially if you install these one-way valves. So it should like kind of prevent it from. I'm just wondering, like, as I'm doing this right now, I wonder, like, am I really getting more insight into the experience other than doing this? I don't know. I don't. There is a concentration of the flavor of the fragrance. Rusty says, when it comes to freezing coffee, when you are ready to use it, can you grind it right from freezer or let it come to room temperature before grinding? I tend to just grind it straight, like. And most everyone that I know that really practice, like a good person would be Greg Skase. Greg is a trained chemist, scientist, physicist, whatever he does. He's super smart and super into chemicals and chemistry and all that. And basically he's also one of the people that's just like, he keeps his coffee in glass bottles, right? Like big mason jars. He puts them in his freezer. And when he wants to use it, he just pours out whatever he needs and puts it back in the freezer. And you can grind straight away because here's the thing. So even though it's frozen coffee, remember roasted coffee only has 2 to 3% moisture. So the moisture content is incredibly low. So all you're really doing is just holding that coffee at that flavor position. And there's really not much damage that can occur. Like if you take a steak, you get it, and it's pretty frozen because it's got a higher moisture content, right? And then if you take things like vegetables, like tomatoes, haricots verts, the green beans, and you freeze those in a home, like you can do it if you do it industrially and like flash freeze it, and you'll still get nice results. But if you do, like most people don't have access to those kind of blast freezers, they're going to slow freeze it in their freezer. And what that does, it causes slow expansion of the crystal, of the water crystal, into water into crystals, which then breaks the cell structure of those vegetables, so that when you thaw it out again and you eat it, it's all mealy and mushy and just really, that's not the case with coffee, because coffee's so dry to begin with. It doesn't really have much moisture for it to expand and contract. There can be some condensation, but that condensation is actually surface condensation, meaning that it's if you're allowing some frozen coffee to dry or to thaw in a high humidity environment, like where Keone is, if he's out in Bangkok or in Thailand and it's super hot and super humid, or even here on the East Coast in the summertime, you could get that kind of condensation. You can get some of that, but I would suspect that condensation is probably no greater than the amount of water you're spraying on it if you're using the water spritzing method. So in some respects, if you wanted to keep your coffee frozen and you wanted to wait for it to thaw and you did get some level of condensation, it would save you the effort of something to think about. Okay, we're almost there. Oh, yes, okay, good. Oh, right, cafe has lots of overgrind. Oh, God, I get what you're saying. I don't know if I'd want to do that, though. I guess you could. Actually, it's nice. What are we supposed to get? It's kind of floral. Maybe a little bit too much. So, but why do you want to do this, right? So there's in coffee, they've identified like over 800 different VOCs, volatile organic compounds, in them that really give that flavor. But some of the bigger ones, of course, are things like aldehydes, and I had a list of them and I totally can't remember it now, but there's a number of them. And if you look at the description down below, you'll see what I'm talking. You'll see I wrote a little bit about that. And these are different things that are helping to give the qualities of the fragrances for the coffee. Why is this taking so long? A watch pot never boils. That's what they say. But like I'm saying, so I think that I'm wondering, like, can this be used to enhance your experience? So as you're drinking the coffee, if you want to take a hit, will that give some kind of greater insight into the coffee experience? I don't know. We're gonna see. And I've got this thing cranked to full. Oh no, that's why nothing's happening. Son of a gun. Only the center jets were lit. There's all kinds of technical issues we're having today. Go figure. What can you do? What can you do? What can you do? So this coffee in 2002, when I first got it, so roasted April 1st, this was cupped April 14th. So within 2 weeks, it was cupped, and 87.25 was the score that I gave for that. So while we're waiting for this thing to boil, we might as well have a look at that, right? See what some of the great characteristics are. YouTube just gave me this option to skip ads, so I clicked on skip ads so that we could skip it out. So let's see what it says here. So on the score, on the fragrance aroma, warm earth, citrusy reason? I don't know. Flavor, orange peel on the flavor. And so what we have here, we have 82.5 for the fragrance, 7.7, 8.25, 7.75 for the flavor. Aftertaste, 9. Wow, that's really great. And then acidity, so kind of low to medium acidity. Apricot, citrus, pineapple, spice, nutmeg, 9. Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. Body, kind of light on the body, but qualitatively 7.75. Uniformity. So these are the, if you notice here in these cupping scores, these are like, they're 5 different boxes. And those 5 boxes are really meant so that in those categories, we're looking for consistency, right? So if one of those, so in a typical critical cupping, standard industry cupping, you actually have 5 samples of the same coffee that you're cupping from, and you're deriving your evaluation and scores from. These 3 categories of uniformity, clean cup, and sweetness are there to say which of these are not uniform, which of these are not clean, which of these are not sweet. And then you tick whichever ones that are off. Now those, you'll tick them off, and if it's just one, perhaps it's no big deal. If it's 2 or more, that could be a larger problem. And it's an easy way for each coffee to get 10, 30 points. As you can see in this case, everything's very even. And of course, we're going to expect really nice quality from George Howell. He's got great quality coffee. The balance of the coffee saying 7.5, so good plus. And then our overall score, 8. Right? And then as you can see here, we have a little bit for defects, taints, faults, number of cups that have these, intensity of those. But our final score is 87.25. I don't know why. I don't put them in here because you know what? These boxes are just way too darn small. They're useless. They're useless. Useless. So I never use them. But so 87.25, which is, in the world of coffee, especially coffee, this is actually excellent. This is excellent. Very, well, I guess technically 9 would be excellent, but very good scores, like really, really high quality coffee. Anything 84, 85 and above is usually considered excellent. 90 plus is very amazing, or should be very amazing. You know, a lot of your geishas and all these things that people are really hyped up about should be in the 90s. Like, I don't know. All right. We're waiting for the boil. Hopefully it'll be boiling soon. I can hear it boiling more. So let's get our timer ready, get everything in place so that we're ready to go. Oh yeah, rolling boil. Again, I like to pour a lot of mass in order to hold as much temperature as possible. And like we learned the other week, we're going to keep it just a little bit open for a little while to encourage, what do you call it? We're going to encourage the temperature to drop, right? We want to be about 204 before we start to pour. Empty Head's asking, is that for fragrance smelling? Yes, yes it is. Yes it is. Ooh. Let's adjust this here so you can see the beauty of the pour or the technical errors that are sure to come. All right, here we go. As you can see, my pouring technique is not as good as yesterday. Everything's saturated. So as you know, we like to go for about 100 grams per minute, 77.35. Perhaps we're a little bit ahead. 93 at 45 seconds. All right, so about 105 at 60 seconds. All right, let's continue going. 121. There's some sweet tones coming off of the aroma. There's that earthiness again, like a sweet earth. So 163. Now I feel like we're getting into the groove of it now, of the brew, right? So 145, 170. So we're kind of in the mix now, that where the water flow is not going through the thing entirely, and we're kind of following along. Or maybe a little bit slow. 199, 2 minutes. And again, I'm just trying to hold it right about there at that water level, just to make sure that all the coffee is fully saturated. So it's about pouring without raising the height too much. 250, about 332, or 340 now, 240. Three minutes, but we're at 285. We're a little bit slow now. Now we slow down a little bit. As the brew has progressed, the flow rate has slowed down through the coffee. I'm feeling a little bit of pressure to speed it up, right? To speed it up to get us done. 314, 327. I wonder if like the filter paper has clogged up a little bit. $346. Let's just go all the way then. 351. Okay, good. There we are. We're at 3 minutes. Oh, shoot. There's always something happening around here. Today is a technically difficult day. I have somehow managed to spill the kettle off of the heater onto the ground, and now there is steaming hot water all over the floor. Oh my gosh, today has really been a technically difficult day. All right, so here we go. We're going to get our coffee out of here. Et voila, to the pretty ODZ Benjerong brewer. Love that. Put that in there. Give it a nice rinse, quick rinse, so that it's rinsed and out of the way. All right, let's look here. Everything's wet, everything's messy. We need our glass. At least I have shoes on. Yes, yes. You know, that's one thing you always want to make sure that if you're working in food service, you wear shoes, closed toe, covered. I don't always wear covered. Today I'm actually wearing kind of clogs. But I remember one time I was wearing these. I normally wouldn't wear New Balance sneakers, right? That are mesh topped instead of like solid top, which is, you know, theoretically it's a bad. It's not what I prescribe. And I had been in coffee at least 15 years by this point. And one day we were using this dispenser, right? A hot water dispenser. It's a 5-gallon hot water dispenser. It's always filled. It's always heated to like 100, like 98 Celsius, right? And I always take water. I was holding some vessel, and I remember it's actually down here, not up here. And I remember I dispensed some of it into this vessel that I've been using for many years. And for whatever reason, the way I was holding it, the distance from the spout, everything was just in the right moment, so that it went in and a little bit splashed out, like a little like chunk about that much splashed out and fell down onto my foot. And because I was wearing mesh shoes, and I mean like, you know, like tennis shoes, like running shoes, it goes through the tongue. And you know, where the tongue covers this part of your foot, I had a scald burn. I was like, how in the world did that? That's like a 1 in a million chance for that happening. So yeah, craziness. All right, let's pour our elixir. See here, how does it look? Oh yeah, looks good. I think that looks good. Right? What do you think? So I might have my shoes on. The question is, do I wear pants while I'm doing this? Huh. Okay, so in the 2022 review, I said that the body was really low. Right, look at that. The body is kind of below medium, and qualitatively 7.75. So that's fairly good. I think the body is much more improved. I would say the body today, solid medium. So more body than it was there. Qualitatively, probably about the same. I would give the same score, 7.75, 7.5. Flavor-wise, back then we're getting orange peel. There is some of that orange peel. I can definitely see that there's a citrusy character to it, kind of like citrus oils, right? Like when you squeeze like a lemon or an orange peel, you get those. That's kind of the character of it. It is a brighter cup, so the acidity is, I would say, kind of actually it's medium. I said here that it was low to medium, right? You can see that there, the acidity there, low to medium. I think that's, I would say, a little bit more intensity wise, right? A little bit. Now it's a little bit more intense. Score wise, I gave a 9. I actually think probably 8.5 now. Aftertaste very clean. There's that citrus character to it, and you know, here I like it says here, aftertaste excellent. I would say that's I would say 8. Very good, maybe very good plus. I could make the argument for that. Balance, I would say it's very balanced. Perhaps better balance now than it was then. Actually, I should probably write this down. And of course, in my wonders of wonders here, I don't think I have a pen. Oh, here we are. All right, so let's review this again. Let's review these scores. So I said that now, aftertaste, I said 8 plus, right? Let's say 8.5. I'm going to stick with 8.25 for fragrance aroma. Yeah, okay, 825. We'll leave that there. Flavor. I think acidity, I said 8. Did we say the body improved? Yeah, body, intense level of body has improved, I think. Did I say that but what did I say? Did I say that it was better or about the same? Okay, so these are going to be the same because we're not using those. Let's taste. Let's taste. I think very good. Very good plus 7.5. Now, flavor-wise, still with the orange peel, that orange citrusy kind of like oils. I think very good. So, no. Good. Good plus. Maybe 7.25. All right, now overall. So if we look here, we have overall score. Now this is not really. I mean, we're doing a tasting with a cup, right? We're not doing a cupping, so we're just kind of hypothesizing on a lot of this. So it's 825, 725, 858, 875, 10. Forget the 10s, 7.5s. I think overall, maybe 7.5. So it's not necessarily an average of the scores, but it should be informed by that. Like, I don't know if there's anything really that I've tasted that would be very good plus to push an overall score. Maybe I guess you could argue for very good, 7.25. I mean, there's, if you break it down, like there are 3 scores that are 7s and 3 scores that are 8 or above. So maybe 7.75 should be more. So let us have a look here. $8.25, 7.5, 8.25, 7.25, 8.5, 8, 7.5, 7.5 plus 30 plus 7.75, 84.75. And today is August 6th, 24. So over 2 years later, with 2.5 years later, with a year and a half frozen, we're saying that our degradation of scoring is about 2.5 points, right? The quality of the coffee has degraded that much, which I would think is not very much at all, or probably, very, very acceptable. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to put this back in to the bag. Maybe I'll take it back over to the roasting space and seal it back up. Pomashal from George Howell. All right, so now how does this expand our experience? Did that enhance the orange peel? Or perhaps what this could do, not just, I'm saying this now because I was thinking, does it really do much? Maybe it helped with the orange peel, but maybe it didn't. Maybe I'm just kind of like maybe I just need to play with it more. But something that just occurred to me was that perhaps there's a way to take other components, put them in here, and use their fragrances to enhance the experience of drinking the coffee, not necessarily to showcase the flavors of the coffee. Like this, we're trying to showcase the flavors or the fragrances of the actual coffee that we're used to brew. But let's say, and I'm just tossing this out there, but like maybe if we ground pine needles and get that essence of pine or whatever, and use that as a complementary or contrasting experience with the coffee. Would that, like if we're talking campfire coffee, let's say like a coffee here and burnt firewood, spraying on your nostrils, could that be another way to deepen the experience of the coffee? That could be. There might be other things than just grinding coffee in this thing. All right, that's pretty much it for today. I think that's a good beginning, a good exploration of the squeaky hum, which means in in Thai, hum means smells good. And that is if the woman from Squeaky actually told me the truth. I'm a little bit surprised that we've not seen more of this in the marketplace, meaning that like I was looking online last night on YouTube looking for videos of people using this, but nobody's really using it. And it's a little bit disappointing. I think there's a lot of interesting possibilities that could be utilized with this kind of product. So is it worth trying? I mean, it's worth getting. I don't know. For the home user, I don't know what good application this might be. Certainly has a nice, nice coffee in it. Smells good. Is that a bottle of whiskey on the back shelf? Oh, there's a lot of bottles of whiskey back here. Lots of bottles of whiskey. What else do we have? What do we have back there? We got rum, whiskey, an empty bottle of the Chateau Latour, one of my favorites. This is the Chateau Latour Pomerol from 1993. I was in New York City one year, and typically I used to go to New York City every year, every October for the Star Chefs International Chefs Congress. I'm there one Monday. This is probably 2009, I think, maybe, or something like that. Or it's been quite a while now, and I'm there. It's a Monday night, and I'm like, I'm going to go watch the Ravens. Ravens are playing Monday Night Football. I don't know who they're playing. So I truck over to Cigar Inn on 51st Street to go watch the game, and I'm like, already Ravens. And I get there, and I realize that, we're playing the Jets. This whole place is packed with Jets fans, right? And we're spanking them. Like, we're spanking them. It's so bad. It's just so, like, I mean, it's not even a competition. Like, it's just so bad. And everybody's just dejected by the third quarter. Everyone's like dejected. They're like, oh my God. And this one dude I was sitting next to, he was drinking this the whole night, and he finished probably about that much. And he was like, I was like, oh, you leave? And of course, I'm there, right? I'm the Ravens fan. I'm not wearing any Ravens gear, which is good because, New York people can be savages. Perhaps not as crazy as the Eagles guys, because those guys are crazy. But and I guess Jets aren't like as bad as Yankees fans. At least this is what I hear. But I'm there, and like every time we score, the Ravens score, I'm just kind of, everyone's like, and I'm just like. But this guy is like, he starts to pack up, and I was like, are you leaving? He's like, yeah, I can't take any more. Here, take this. You can have it. I can't drink anymore. So this bottle of Chateau Latour Pomerol, 1993, was gifted to me by a Jets fan. Thank you very much, New York Jets. I appreciate this tremendously. And I drank the rest of the bottle, and had a really nice time with it. What else do we have back here? We've got the Uganda Waragi, which is a distillate from Uganda, kind of their version of, of moonshine, which is always kind of fun. Like, I've spent a bit of time in Kampala drinking a little bit too much of this. And then what else we have back here? We got a bottle of one of my favorite red wines is the Chateau de Beaucastel from Chateau de Pape. Just, I'm kind of there are definitely different vintages of the Beaucastel that are worth trying, but I mean, pretty much if you buy the Beaucastel in pretty much any year, like certain years are better than others, of course, but pound for pound, dollar for dollar, year to year. This is superb, superb, superb. And then I've got a bunch of tequilas like this one here, Hacienda del Cristero. I used to have a girlfriend in Mexico City, and so I'd go there fairly regularly. And every time I go there, I would buy a bottle that I couldn't find here. And I don't know if these are available now, but this Hacienda del Cristero is a clear tequila. Very nice, very nice. Of course, since I no longer go to Mexico City that often, my collection does not increase. But the crazy reality also, so we got the, what do we have here? We've got the Black Maple Hill. But the truth of the matter is I'm not really a big drinker. So I may have some whiskeys and stuff, but I don't really have the opportunity. Like, I don't want to drink alone because I feel like that's just kind of sad. Like I would feel sad. Like not that it's a sad situation for people to do it, but it just I'd be like sitting there like I'm drinking alone and I'm feeling sad. But this is the Black Maple Hills. This is a small batch bourbon. As you can see, it's never been opened, so I don't know what that tastes like. I bought it. I was like, oh, that's cool. All right. Yeah. Well, there it is. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you being here for another episode of the Coffee Q&A. Back again tomorrow with more talk about coffee. And yeah, so hope you come join us. And sorry for all the technical details issues today. But back again, hopefully we'll have those ironed out, or maybe we won't. All right, until next time, have a great one.